Well, obviously it was a really good win. It was great to play at home. I really appreciate the spirit that was created by the number of people that were there. I think our players certainly appreciate that, and we're excited to be able to play at home. And I think the fans did a great job of creating an atmosphere that was helpful to, us making improvement. I think we made improvement in this game. I think we did some things better than we did in week one, which is very, very important. We made a lot of explosive plays. I think we played with a little better effort, a little more consistency. But at the same time, we're not where we need to be yet. We have things that we need to continue to focus on, continue to work on, so that we don't make mental errors here and there that allow the other team to have success against us. I think that's going to be a real key for our team in terms of how they prepare and what we need to do to be able to continue to improve, because we're certainly not, where we could be or need to be, but I'm not disappointed at all in where we are, especially relative to the circumstances that we're in. So, we're making progress. We had some players of the week this week. I think you guys both all got that information, and sort of, Mac and Malachi got some SEC honors this week, which we congratulate them relative to that. But, we're playing a very good Ole Miss team, this week. I think Lane has done a, outstanding job, there. The players are playing hard. They're playing well on special teams, scoring a whole lot of points on offense. They got the high-tempo offense that they have some really good skill players on offense. They've got enough returning starters that they have a blend of experience and, some guys that are really playing well for them, making a lot of explosive plays. At receiver, they got good runners. The quarterback is really, really a good player, one of the most efficient passers in the country. He's very athletic. He can make plays with his feet, present a lot of problems in terms of, how they're playing on offense, which, we've always had a tremendous amount of respect for, the job Lane did when he was here. And, he's doing a lot of the same things with, obviously a lot of growth in how they're doing them and how they're attacking people. So they present a lot of problems for you. Defensively, they've got good players. They're playing hard. I think, they've played a lot. And we have to have the proper respect, for this team all the way around. They're playing really well in special teams. They've got a really good punter, kicker, so they've got really good specialists. But, Ole Miss has been a team that's created lots of problems for us in the past, ruined a couple seasons for us. So we certainly need to have the proper respect for this team. And if we don't, with the number of points that they've scored, 42 and 35 in the first 2 weeks, and one of the top offensive teams in the country, we're going to, we need to have the proper respect for what we're going to have to do to go on the road and play well to have success.
Okay, we'll start things off with Michael Casagrande of AL.com.
Yeah, Nick, I was just wondering, how would you assess Mac Jones' ability to throw the deep ball so far this season?
I think he's done a good job of it. We hit a couple, Saturday, missed one. But I think that's a pretty good batting average. So, I think ability, when people are, crowding the box and, the safeties are trying to cover the receivers, and you got to be able to, take some shots. And it was certainly something that we were able to take advantage of in the game. And obviously the runners did a good job of getting behind people, and Mac did a good job of delivering the ball for the most part.
Okay, we will go to Brett Hudson with Tuscaloosa News.
Coach, I'm curious what you think you gained from rotating tight ends as often as y'all have early on, and how that changes what y'all do from a play calling perspective.
I don't think it changes a whole lot. But, we think we have 3 or 4 guys that can all contribute at tight end. So, we play them situationally. But I don't really always try to feature, what players can do best. So there's obviously a little bit of that going on. But Rather than, tell everybody we play exactly what that is, I don't think I'd like to be in a position to do that right now. But we think all those guys have something that they can contribute, so we try to use their skill to help our offense in the best way they can.
We'll go to John Zener with the AP.
Yeah, Coach, you look at Ole Miss and they've obviously got a quarterback and a wide receiver in Elijah Moore who put up some big numbers, but kind of around the league, you've got 5 of the 6 top passers in the nation and 6 of the top 10 receivers. Is that kind of a sign of the times, or in your mind, are there just that many playmakers, among the wide receivers and tight ends in this league?
Well, I think that there are a lot of playmakers in this league. I do think this is a really good year for quarterbacks. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in our league, and Matt certainly is one of them. I mean, he's played really, really well in the first 2 games, and he hurts people with his feet, extends plays, makes a lot of explosive plays, very accurate with the ball, does a great job of sort of executing their offense, with the RPOs and the reads that he makes. And I know that there's several other very good quarterbacks. We just played one, I think this last week, from Texas A&M. So even the 2 guys that played at Missouri were very effective players. So I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league this year. And I think if you have a quarterback in college football, you're always going to have a chance to score points. And that's why I think a lot of points have been scored so far this year.
We'll go to Charlie Potter with Bama Online.
Hey, Coach, just want to ask you, after watching the film, how would you assess the play of your secondary on Saturday?
We would like to cover a little bit better man-to-man, especially, we probably gave up 3 or 4 third down conversions of the tight end. I think other than the mental errors, led to several explosive plays where we didn't have somebody covered. It's not just the secondary. Sometimes it was the linebackers making mental errors as well. But, we need to get better. I think we played better in this game than we did the first game. So hopefully we'll continue to make progress. I think it'll be really important that we play really well against this team this week, because this is the most explosive team we've played against, this far. They're going to spread you out. They've got a lot of good skill players. They can run it. They can throw it. Receivers are not easy to cover. Tight end's a really good receiver, very athletic. So this will be a very challenging game for us.
We'll go to Tony Tsoukalos with Bama Insider.
Yeah, earlier this fall you talked about Mac Jones kind of holding on to mistakes and not letting that go in his mind, and he kind of responded well to the interception he threw. What have you seen from him in that regard, of just being able to kind of shake off when he does make a mistake?
Yeah, well, Mac's matured, in that, and I think he's a lot more confident now. I think he knows what he has to do to stay focused and play the next play, and he's played within himself very well in the first 2 games, and that's something that we want him to continue to do. So, and I was pleased with the way he responded, after the tip ball interception, on Saturday. So, and I think the more you understand that when things don't go well, there's good opportunities to learn and grow, and I certainly think that Mac has done that as he's progressed in these last 3 or 4 games that he's played in.
We'll go to Mike Rodak with AL.com.
You touched on the receivers for Ole Miss before, but just specific to Elijah Moore, he leads the country right now in yards per game. Just what sort of challenges he present, and how does he stack up against the other receivers you'll see the rest of the season?
Well, I don't know about the rest of the receivers we're going to see. We're kind of trying to play these games 1 week at a time, so I'm not looking at receivers that we're going to play in November or even later in October. So, but he's a very good player. He's very quick, very explosive, very sudden, has a burst. He's hard to tackle, even though he's sort of not a great big guy. He's very well put together, and he's hard to cover. So, and it's going to be a matchup that we have to pay a lot of attention to in this game.
We'll go to James Ogletree.
Yeah, Coach. On Saturday, you mentioned that adjusting to motion was a primary source of some of those mental errors on defense. Can you just help us understand what is going through your players' minds when they see motion, and how does that affect their role on that play relative to the rest of the defense?
Well, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, all these things we practiced. I just think it's not a function of not knowing what to do. It's a function of when things change quickly, on the field, being able to apply that knowledge and adjustment to what you're seeing. And everybody's got to be on the same page, and everybody's got to have anticipation. And I think when you're a little inexperienced, sometimes you don't anticipate what's going to happen. Therefore, when it happens, you're not quite ready to react to it. So that's something that we're just going to have to do a better job of, continue to practice a lot. And because, if those things are an issue, you're going to see it a lot. And Ole Miss does it a lot, and we'll have to make a lot of adjustments in this game as well. And they'll be going fast, so you won't have a lot of time to think about it.
Okay, we'll go to Cecil Hurt next.
Coach, Christian Barmore was able to get some playing time and to get some pressure on the passer on Saturday. How is his knee progressing and his return to the lineup progressing?
He's good. He'll play more and more as we go. We didn't play him in the first game. He had a role in the second game, which he did a pretty good job. Never had any issues. Practiced well all last week. So if he continues to progress, his role will continue to increase.
Okay, we'll finish up with Stephen Smith.
Hey, Coach, he's had a couple of injuries in his career, but he was also one of the players of the week. Where have you seen Chris Allen improve the most since he's been here?
Probably knowledge and experience. I think a lot of guys that we recruit to play outside linebacker didn't really stand up and play in high school. So they played with their hand in the dirt because they're bigger than everybody else in high school. So it's kind of a work in progress sometimes when you make them stand-up players. And Chris now is much more confident in what he's supposed to do, how he's supposed to do it. I think he's more confident seeing the game from a little different perspective when you're standing up as an outside linebacker relative to playing defensive end. So he's always played hard. He's very physical. He plays with toughness. He does have some pass rush ability. So to be able to apply those things, now in games with confidence, I think is probably the number one thing that's helped him play well.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.